Mike Kavanaugh with GayLifeNYC.org and HIVHero.org, and I'm here with the very handsome John Carroll. How are you, John?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
You are our Broadway hero for February, kind of our Valentine's Day hero.
That sounds good. Good to me.
Happy Valentine's to you all, and make sure you're safe out there and find yourself a great partner and get tested together.
Ditto.
So tell me, you made your Broadway debut a year ago, and what show was that?
Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
And what was that like, getting your Broadway debut?
It was, it's pretty much what they say. It was amazing. It's something you sort of, hope your whole life would happen, and you realize that there's a lot of amazing dancers in the New York City pool, so to get that chance is pretty great. And the cast we got to work with, like Patti Lupone and Renee Scott, it was pretty unreal.
Yeah, tell us a little story about Patti Lupone, anything?
Well, I grew up on Long Island, and she did too, and literally grew up loving her and knowing everything about her. She grew up there. She went to Juilliard. I want to go to Juilliard. So, not that I even sing, but, wanted to be as much like her as I possibly could. So to actually be in the room with her, and when the first time she came up to me and she said, "Good morning, John," and I literally lost my bowels. I was that excited. It was a good day.
And you just recently ended Follies on Broadway, but you're going to LA. Tell us about Follies.
Yes, Follies was great, another dream come true kind of thing. I never really knew about it before I booked it. I knew some of the songs, but not the story or anything like that. It's not a very dance-heavy musical. So like a chorus line or Chicago, it was never really on my radar like that. So it was just this amazing gem to sort of be a part of and to see the ghosts and the memories and to work with that cast again is pretty crazy.
Tell us about Bernadette. What would she like to work with?
Literally, it's an embarrassment of gay riches to go from one show with Patti Lupone to, Bernadette Peters. It's a pinch me kind of moment. But these women that you sort of idolized growing up, what a blessing to actually meet them and realize that they're everything you would want them to be and more. So gracious, so talented, and especially with Follies, you have Elaine Page, you have Jan Maxwell, as well as Ron Raines, Danny Burstein. Watching them work and seeing them in the creative process, I mean, just from being in the ensemble and standing back, it's literally like a class in theater at how they approach things, how they find their character, how they act in a song, how they deal with the director, the questions that they ask. It really, every day was like going to school.
So, John, I've seen from a lot of your pictures, you've met a lot of famous people. Who was the one that you were most impressed meeting?
I have to say, for me personally, it was Elaine Page. I really got to work very closely with her in Follies. I sort of play her date to the party that surrounds the story of Follies, and really to walk around for a show with Elaine Page on your arm is pretty amazing. And I can honestly say she's become a really good friend of mine. So to meet the original Evita, the original Grisabella, or Florence in Chess, I mean, I think as performers you always want to originate a great role, but to see someone that's done it so many times over, and her wit and sense of humor and her generosity, she's probably the top notch. That's where I was actually, because we had to work so closely together, got nervous, and she totally put me at ease.
Well, you are our Valentine's Day hero, but there was big news because you got married.
I did. I got married over the summer. The first date was legal here in New York City. I think I should know, but July 24th, my husband and his family came from Pennsylvania. Like I said, grew up on Long Island. My family came in, and we all were in line waiting for the justice of the peace. And because I am a New Yorker, it was really important for me to get married in my state where it's actually legal. I think marriage is very different for each couple. I have a lot of friends that went to Massachusetts, even some that went up to Canada. But for me, it was very important. It had to be legal with where I sort of grew up. And we were just waiting and waiting and praying that would happen in New York. And when it did, we just, signed up right away to hopefully win the lottery. It worked out that they let everyone that was in the lottery actually get married on that day. And to be down at City Hall with hundreds of other couples, and it was surrounded by love, and everyone that works at the city clerk's office was there because they wanted to be. And it was a historic day. I couldn't have asked for a more magical day, and to be surrounded, obviously, with my husband, but with our families. It literally, as a young kid, when I imagined I want to get married, it was exactly what I wanted it to be.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and congratulations to you for being married and being a good role model. And, I'm sorry, guys, he's off the market. So, John, I also see that you've done some magazine covers and some modeling. How do you like doing that?
I love it. It's great. I mean, who doesn't want to be sort of, made to feel beautiful for a day? So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. What's stressful about it?
I think it's always like the preparation beforehand because, obviously, like on stage, you're constantly moving and there's great lighting and there's costumes and stuff like that. So you're in the moment. But I think something like with film or with stuff with a camera, it's definitely there. It's not a fleeting moment. It's something that's going to be around for a while. So you really sort of want to bring your A game for something like that. But there's a beautiful little miracle called Photoshop available right now. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, so I don't stress too much. But yeah, I like it. I think also like growing up a gay kid that was bullied a lot. You're not bullied and also feel beautiful at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I think like now as I get older, to just sort of celebrate that and to feel good in my own skin. When I was younger, I didn't feel good in my own skin at all. So for me, it's almost like a celebration. Because I said I do work out a lot. I love doing that. To know that it is paying off in a positive way. When I do photo shoots or anything like that, it's gratifying, and like I said, it's like a celebration of the hard work that I've done. So,
Let's talk about that a little bit. So you were bullied when you were a child. Why were you bullied?
why? Because I am a big old queen. No, yeah, basically, I mean, I was really feminine as a kid. I think I've, toned that down as I got older. No comment. And I started dancing when I was 6. So even other straight dancers that I know that took dance class at an early age, all you have to do is take dance class and kids already peg you, the queer in the room kind of thing. But the fact that, I was effeminate didn't help that sort of the bullying anyway. But it got really bad, and it's for as long as I can remember. I grew up just 45 minutes outside the city, but it might as well have been, hundreds of miles. It was bad to a point where literally I did have to switch high schools when I was young.
Oh, that's awful. And with all the teen suicide going on right now and people actually running away and getting kicked out of their houses, it's amazing. You have to have a lot of strength, and congratulations for getting over that.
I mean, I always say there, but for the grace of God go I, because these stories that you hear about these young kids, it is absolutely heartbreaking, and that was me, But there was, for me, I have to say, the blessing in my life has been dance, where I would go through my day at school and people would say, I want to kill you. And they would spit on me all the time and fag on my locker, fag on my books. And the teachers did very little to sort of calm that down. But as I got older, like 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, I went to a performing arts high school for half the day. So I would go to my public school and literally be told that they want to kill me. Then I would go to my performing arts high school where I'd be in a jazz class and I would be brought up to sort of some like demigod status because that was dance for me. But
And they all wanted to date him.
well, I looked a little different when I was younger, but I'm a swan now.
Yes, you are. You've come into your own, I have to say. And once again, I want to reiterate: if that's really great advice. Pour yourself into something you love. Don't let people get away with bullying. Talk to your teachers. Talk to your parents, because it is unacceptable behavior, right?
And I think also it's important to know as a young person that might be going through that you're not alone. I mean, you feel so isolated. I have an amazing family that is so supportive of me being gay. My 90-year-old, grandmother loves my husband, and and even when I was younger, it was the same thing. I have other gay people in my family, but for me, I didn't talk to my family about it when I was younger because the kids at school made it seem so hideous, the fact that I might have been gay, that I kept it to myself. But if I could tell my younger self then, like the whole It Gets Better ad campaign is fantastic, just to know that you're not alone, that there is a humongous community out there, and that other people are going through a shared experience that you're going through.
So, John, one of the things I love about you and I love about all of our Broadway heroes is that you participate in Broadway Cares and Broadway Bears particularly. How was that experience, and why is it so important to you?
That experience has been nothing short of, I keep saying magical, but it really was. To sort of be in an organization that raises millions for such a great cause is fantastic, and to sort of lend your talents to that is really great as well. It's a fantastic evening. Everyone gets together, and they're in such a great mood. And to perform in front of a crowd, I mean, I don't know how many people, but a couple of thousand, and the energy that you get from the audience is pretty unbelievable. I've done it for a couple of years now. Every time they ask me to do something back, I'm more than happy to jump at the opportunity to do it. But then you see afterwards the impact that it has on people, how happy it makes people, but also where the money goes to and how it helps just the broad spectrum of people. That literally, it's fantastic.
And it's quite an evening. I have to say it's my favorite event of the whole year in New York City. And, by the way, it's the best show you're ever going to see. So please go get your tickets now. They're actually available. This happens in June every year. You'll find information on my website, hivhero.org. So, John, tell us one thing that few people know about you.
Okay. Most people don't know that I'm actually hearing impaired. And
What? That was a horrible joke. I'm sorry.
But I wear a hearing aid. I don't wear it when I dance or when I work out because I'll sweat it out. So I think when people run into me, they always, "What's in your ear? Is that a Bluetooth?" Which is it's kind of funny. But yeah, when I was younger, I had spinal meningitis and had to learn to walk over again. And because of that, and also the medication that they gave me, it did do a number on my hearing. So in my 1 year, I definitely use a hearing aid.
And we're a site for newly diagnosed and people living with HIV, just to change the subject. Do you have any message out there about the importance of being safe for yourself and your partners?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit before this interview, and I thought your story was absolutely captivating and really sort of made me think about my own life and my friends' lives, and just safe sex. I mean, even when I was growing up, or I was blessed enough recently to see The Normal Heart, and you see that whole story unfold, and I think that it's something that young people today need to hear, and a story that needs to be told, because we see the amazing blessing that HIV right now is a very livable and manageable disease, but I think that young people sort of see that and then forget about being safe, and I think the whole idea of getting condom use out there and really sort of nailing that into people's heads.
Our slogan is "Condoms are hot." Do you think condoms are hot?
And condoms are very hot.
This is the either or, and I know you have a boyfriend, but if you didn't answer these questions the way you would. Taller men or shorter men?
Both.
Dinner or amusement park on a date?
Amusement park.
Younger men or older men?
Both.
Cooking at home or eating out?
Eating out.
Candlelight or in the dark for sex?
Candlelight.
Clubbing or hanging out with friends?
Hanging out with friends.
Football or figure skating?
Football.
Reading a book or watching a movie?
Reading a book.
Cocktail or beer?
Beer.
Super Bowl or the Oscars?
Super Bowl.
Brains or beauty?
Brains.
You're a liar. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. They all say that. Then they should. Boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
And naked or PJs in bed?
Oh, naked.
Okay, as it should be, as I tell all of them. Thank God for that. We'll just think about that for a moment. So, John, I want to thank you so much for being our Broadway Hero of the Month for HIV Hero and GayLifeNYC.org. You're a truly inspirational guy. I think you're going to be very successful and have a long, long career. And thank you so much for being our Valentine's Day hero. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Thank you so much again for having me. It's really an honor, so thank you. Hi, my name is John Carroll. I'm the Broadway Hero of the Month of February. Happy Valentine's Day. Check out HIVhero.org.